Hey guys! So, you can probably see cat 1, cat 2, both just chilling, because that's what they do. It's like late afternoon nap time, I guess. But anyway, so tomorrow is Pagan Pride, and who wants me to record? Because I'm kind of on the fence about it. I will have to figure out how to edit my video and kind of slice everything together. So that should be a new venture for me because I haven't quite done that yet. Also, I have a friend who's coming with me, so I have to make sure that she's okay with potentially being recorded, if she wants to be involved or not. But I might try and get some snippets here and there, but I am super excited to go to Pagan Pride. So, I didn't get to go last year because I was in Washington, so, which was totally worth it too. Camping up the North Cascades. Yeah, that's some good stuff, as I touched on in my last video. But anyway, so I got that coming up tomorrow, and then I don't know if anyone else is in this mood, but I think it might just be the approaching of the changing of the seasons, but I have this urge to just clean the ever-living crap out of my house and then just run around with some cedar, because I don't really use sage very much. To cleanse, I generally just use cedar because I prefer the smell a little bit more. Sage is it just kind of smells like weed, truthfully. I use sage in other ways, but I don't burn it generally, not very often at least. So yeah, but the topic of this video today, let me minimize my camera here. The topic of this video today is just, what do we do when we're in a spiritual rut? What my advice would be to you guys, anyone that's going through it, because we all go through this, and if you've been on this path quite some time, like I have, it's a pretty common thing. Everything waxes and wanes, so it's really important to keep that in mind, first of all. Second of all, I think that you have to have a general acceptance for it, and because I feel like if you struggle and force your craft or your spiritual mojo to come back when it's just not quite there, none of the work that you do is really going to pay off. And that's because most of our work as pagans and or witches is our intent. If our intent is not there in the work that we're doing, it's not going to work very well, or at all. So don't try to force it if you feel in a slump. And we've all had those times where a Sabbat goes by and life gets in the way. We're too busy, we're just not feeling it. Oh, I should have done that, I should have celebrated that Sabbat. You feel disappointed, but that spark's just not there. So what do? And like I said, my advice to you, first of all, would just be to go with the flow of it. Ride the wave on how you're feeling. And don't force anything. So, we've gotten to that point. We're riding that wave. What happens next? What if we kind of feel that fire happening again? What do? Well, I would suggest starting slow. Say you have a new moon or full moon coming up, and you just kind of want to give a little nod to the energies that are going on in that. Look up what energies are, what it's pertaining to. What house is the moon in during this time? What sort of intentions would you like to set? And then just do something small. Light a candle, sit quietly in your sacred space for a bit. And do this every once in a while until you really feel like you can pick your practice up again. Starting small really helps. Also, just going out on nature walks if the weather permits. Spending time among nature helps revitalize what your foundation for your workings, or at least it does in the case of me. And I should say that, I should have said that at the beginning of this video, but this is all stuff that I have worked with that has worked for me, so please don't take it as an absolute truth, and that is for pretty much anything I say. This is all things that work for me, so find what works for you, but these are suggestions and I hope you guys can take them and work with them. Another thing that I like to do is I like to pick an element that I feel particularly drawn to, that I maybe need something something from that elemental lesson, and work with it for a little bit, very subtly. So if I am feeling particularly mucky, I will do a cleansing bath. Now, we all know I am very water oriented. I am a Cancer moon, and my sun sign is Aquarius, so I'm water and air, but I've always been exceedingly drawn to water, and there's a lot of reasons for that, which I can do a video on each of the elements. That's actually a good idea. Epiphany. So that's generally what I do, is I draw a bath. I do lots of spiritual baths, and most of the time I do this to kind of cleanse the spiritual muck off of me and kind of reset things. The other thing that I tend to do for air, per se, is sometimes I will just sit outside and listen to the wind, and it's kind of revitalizing. Fire, spend time among fire, light a candle, gaze into the fire. You don't have to go into a trance state, you don't have to scry with the fire, but just be in its presence. Or light a bonfire if you have a fire pit in your backyard, or if you have a fireplace in your house. Just be in its presence. It's, again, revitalizing. Earth is another one that can also be revitalizing, and as everybody knows, Earth is very grounding. So if you're having some trouble feeling grounded, I would suggest walking outside with your bare feet, or putting your hands on a tree. I've mentioned the ash tree that I have in my backyard. I will tend to go out there at night and walk across my yard barefoot and then put my hands on that tree to ground myself. That's one of my favorite things to do. If there are certain types of weather that you connect with, and you're kind of feeling like you're in this muck, this low, and for, say, a thunderstorm rolls through and you are connected to thunderstorms, or any type of storm for that matter, relish in its energy. Like I said, these are little steps. You don't have to do anything big. You don't have to do anything grand, extravagant. Try to avoid large rituals or large witchy commitments, I guess would be the best way to put it. And know that your deity, your deities, and any other beings that you might work with are patient, and they will be patient with you. So be patient with yourself in this time when you feel like you're in a rut. I think that's something that's deeply important. It's something we tend to overlook. It's very easy to judge ourselves. We're always our worst critic, and we always feel like we should be doing more. I know I'm completely guilty of this. This is one of my banes. It's awful, and it's something I'm working on. So just try to be patient with yourself. When you're in a magical rut, and you're in a rut spiritually, it's there for a reason. So just take your time, go slow, dip your toes in the water little bit by little bit, and just, like I said, ride the wave. So that's going to be it, I think, for this video today. If anybody has any questions, if you want me to do a follow-up, if there's any, talk to me. I hope this helped, because I know, especially with the changing of the seasons, we can go through these kind of ruts sometimes. So I hope this helps, and I hope you guys are having a good week. It's Friday for those who work the 9 to 5s, and I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves. Blessed be.